California. Mr. Rohrabacher is recognized for a question.
Thank you very much. And let me just note, this hearing represents a major problem that we're facing in our society right now. There is a conflict between the legislative and executive branches over who's going to make the rules and who's going to actually determine what policies will be followed, rather than, and I think, unfortunately, this, what we're describing just today is yet another example of a arrogant usurpation of authority by the administration. And the EPA is perhaps one of the instruments that have been used more than others to centralize this power and create legal authority when perhaps they do not have it. In this case, let me just ask you, Secretary Cohen, by the way, just another thought. There is not, unfortunately, quite often what we're talking about is actions that are taken without regard to cost to the public. And a lot of times people think that we can just do these things and we're going to improve things and there's going to be no cost at all because there's nothing in the federal budget, but it ends up costing the American consumer enormous amounts of money. In this case, did you find that the Army Corps of Engineers and the state of Alaska were brought into the decision-making process here and the investigation as they should have been?
Well, the answer to that is yes and no. The state of Alaska was brought into it unwillingly. If you look at the report, you'll find from the day one, Alaska objected to this process being instituted under 404C. So the governor actually wrote to the EPA administrator saying, it's a case where I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. If I refuse to participate in this, EPA will say you had your chance. If I don't participate, if I do participate in this, I'll be seen as complying with it and having my chance. But I, the state of Alaska, am fundamentally opposed to proceeding in this fashion. So the state of Alaska did, in fact, participate unwillingly and with great objection throughout from the day it all started. With respect to the Corps itself, the Army Corps of Engineers was not brought into the process. Initially, when the Bristol Bay watershed assessment was done, they said they couldn't participate because they would be called upon to become active during the NEPA process and therefore wanted to avoid a conflict of interest. And then when the assessments were completed, the watershed assessments were completed, they were asked, do you want to comment? They said, we can't comment, we have no defined plan. So the Army Corps of Engineers never participated in this process, which raises the question that the Army Corps of Engineers is the action agent. They are the project manager for any type of mine or project that would be designed. They are not part of this particular process, so they were excluded under it.
The complications that the complications that you are describing are a result of the fact that somebody's going way beyond their authority, and that's what happens when you do that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Rohrabacher.